Is the mic on? This is so COVID. This is so COVID. The last hotel I stayed at, in the shower, the shampoo and conditioner that they provided, not only are they mismatching brands, but the conditioner bottle is bigger. It's twice the size. The shampoo looks like that little, that little thing of Tabasco sauce they give you when you get room service. It's about that size. And the conditioner, before COVID, when in the history of free shampoo and conditioner in the hotels has there ever been more conditioner than shampoo? Nobody conditions their hair without washing it. And to be quite frank, I don't feel comfortable that they're mismatching brands. I don't know if chemically these are balanced. I mean, listen, we all know how precious my hair is to me, but before COVID, this would never be allowed. Look at this. Barely enough shampoo for a beautiful head of hair like mine, and too much conditioner. What's wrong with Orny Adams? Episode 46.
What's his name, Kev? Orny.
So much to talk about. Yes, there is a Teen Wolf movie. We start filming next month. What a week. So much is wrong. First of all, if you haven't been hearing much from me lately, it's because my mom got a new iPhone. So who's on 24-hour tech support? Yours truly. I got a home COVID test. I got a couple of them, and then I tried to get a refund from my insurance company. I'll walk you through that disaster. And then I had ordered takeout from a place, and it was taking forever. I asked for a refund. Wait till you hear what happens. So much to talk about. We're going to talk about a missing violin. We're going to talk about this rugby video that I put up on TikTok, and it's driving. Well, it's I think 1 million views now. 1 million views on TikTok. A couple 100,000 on Twitter. I've now been invited to be a commentator for rugby. It's really fun. It's an American perspective on rugby. I have no clue what this sport is about. And it looks like the ref is pointing one way and the runners just keep running another way. Nobody's listening. Looks like the play's over. Then some little sneaky lad comes in and grabs the ball and just starts to play again. There seems to be no rules. There seems to be just complete chaos. Makes no sense to me. They do this thing. It's like a man bridge where both sides like push into each other. And it appears there's no purpose for this at all except to exhaust the players. And then some guy, another sneaky lad, I'll call him, rolls the ball under the man bridge to himself. A completely unnecessary exercise. And I don't get it. I don't get why they slide into home for a touchdown. Like they should just run into the end zone. Then they got these, the poles that they can kick it through. I assume that they have field goals like we do. And they don't even try and slide through those. So I don't get the sport at all. The rugby community has been smitten with my videos. They're very, very cool community. Like nobody got angry at me. And it's been covered by 3 or 4 different rugby publications online, newspapers from Australia to Ireland. And in fact, I guess it's called Six Nations. That's the league that I was sort of. Okay, let me start over. I wasn't going to tell this story right away, but I was. When you hit the remote, for some reason, if you want to, all the digital channels on my provider are four codes, right? So you have to go 1026, whatever that is, right? Instead of just 26. All the HD channels are 10 then something. So why don't they just why can't I just do 26 and get the HD channel? So it's 1027. Well, you get it, right? Well, if you're not close to the TV, to get all 4 in the time that they give you and not double hit or press one and it doesn't work. Now why can't the remote can't act as responsive as the Apple TV remote? I don't know. But somehow I end up, I miss a button or something. I end up on a rugby channel I didn't even know I had. And I'm watching Six Nations rugby. And I do this video just quickly for TikTok. Why not, right? Let's just throw it out there. Let's see what happens. Well, it's almost at 1 million views. That one video. And Six Nations found it. And they retweeted it. And then also Six Nations put it up on their website as one of the top videos of the week. So now, people who have been watching rugby for years love this video because what I'm saying makes sense. I have like a child's perspective. I'm like a young kid that has no clue and just sees rugby through these wide eyes. And I wish I saw the rest of the world like this. And it's resonating. So I made another video a few days later, a week later, where I chopped up different parts of the game and me commenting and having no clue what's going on. There's also a point where they go to throw the ball in, and instead of everybody just jumping up and grabbing the ball, one guy lifts another guy by his buttocks into the air to grab the ball. So he's taller. This is something you do like in elementary school to trick your friends. I don't know if this is legal or not, but it's starting to look like they're cheerleading. I thought like all of a sudden they were cheerleading for their team. They were cheering on. Or it looks like a Cirque du Soleil audition. Anyway, so those videos are up on TikTok. They're up on Instagram. I put them up on Facebook. And now I am the darling of the rugby community. And I've been invited by the New England Hammerjacks? Lumberjacks? Something Jacks. Hammerjacks. My team in New England has invited me to be a commentator. I said, first of all, let's change the name. What's a Hammerjack? Why aren't we something very New England, like the New England clam chowders? I want some clam chowder. Some clam chowder. So this was a very organic video, and it's fun, and I'll continue to make some more, of course. What a week. What a week. My Lord. Get a little relaxing music. Anybody have to buy their parents a new iPhone lately? Now, my mom wants a new iPhone. And I wanted to get her I got her the new one, of course. Well, now it's just nonstop questions. And Apple has this service. So when I bought the iPhone, I had it delivered to my mom's house. And it was delivered by an Apple technician. They have like this concierge service where somebody will show up. Now, I don't know if they're doing this because I'm famous or I'm kidding, or I'm VIP or I spend enough money with Apple. But they sent a person who was lovely. She was fantastic because my mom was so nervous about this. It was so cute. My mom and dad they wrote down a list of questions. They got dressed up. They're very excited for the visit from the Apple technician. And they had me on Zoom the whole time. Can you imagine this? For like 2 hours, I have to sit there listening to them set up a phone. And I'm just yelling, set up Face ID. Make sure she can say, hey, Siri. Hey, Ma. Make sure they put find my phone. What? Find my, what's that? If your phone gets lost, Mom, they can ask the technician. I'll explain to you later. Well, this was for hours. One day. Then every day since, I've been called upon for some sort of now I bought my mom a wireless charger. And you know what that is? It's like a base, and you just put your phone on it. It's called a wireless charger because you don't have to plug a cord into your phone. You just place it on something, and it starts charging. Well, my mom, very confused by this, she said, well, why is there a cord with the charger? I said, well, you have to plug the cord into the charger, then into the wall. So the electricity, do you see what I'm talking about? The electricity goes from the wall to the charger. Okay, I was just confused because you said it was a wireless charge. Like now my mom thinks like I'm Newton pulling electricity out of the air. Was it Newton or was it Tesla? Anyway, here's an actual text, and I was going to have my mom read her part. There's my Boston accent. There's my New England hammerjack accent. I was going to have my mom read her part of the text. This is an actual text. This is an actual text between my mother and me in regards to her new iPhone. Okay, this is day one. I wake up to this. There's a time difference. She's in Boston. Day one, I wake up to this text from my mom. Need help connecting to printer. That's all it says. Connecting new iPhone to it? Yes. It can't find Air Printer. Are you on the same Wi-Fi? Because we have a few different Wi-Fis. Yes. Well, it should find it automatically. I know. Does it find it on the drop-down window? No. Try and do a screenshot and send it to me. Okay. It just says no printer found. Send me a screenshot. A few minutes later. Fixed! Exclamation mark. The printer wasn't on. The printer wasn't on. Now I know what I used to call tech support, and they'd say, is it plugged in? And I go, what are you dealing with? Well, now I know what they were dealing with. My parents. Then a few minutes later, I know this sounds funny, but there's no hole for the earphones. Am I missing something? So now I had to buy her the doggles. What do they call those things? It really sucks getting older. I feel it myself, but it has been now 2 days free of technical support calls from my mom regarding her new iPhone. So I hope she's loving it. I hope she is loving it. I just feel so fortunate that, I have a close relationship with my parents and we can laugh at this stuff. That is for sure. And I sent those screenshots. I sent it to my sisters, and boy, did we all get a laugh. There it is. Mom gets a new iPhone. That segment is done. Done. Let's talk about those home COVID tests. Has anybody bought a home COVID test and then tried to get a refund from your insurance company? Supposedly these are covered by insurance. So you can go to a testing place, you can make the reservation online, you can put in your insurance information, you can show up for your, then you can log on to this, and you just go, this is too much. So I was at the pharmacy, and there was a sign, we have COVID tests are covered by insurance. I said, fantastic. I figure I just show my insurance card, right? And I get my test. So I said, how many can I get? They go, well, up to 10. I go, how much are they? They go, $10 each. So it's 100. I don't really need 10. And then I'm doing the math in my head. I said, the chances the insurance company's ever gonna. And I said, what? I just show my insurance card? They said, oh no. Gotta submit a receipt. I said, receipt? I said, what are we, week 1 of the pandemic here? We haven't figured out a way for us to show the insurance card. Don't you use my insurance card for other medications and things? How is this so difficult? Why haven't we figured this out in America? So she said, oh, it's easy. Oh, it's easy. Well, why don't you come over to my place and do it? Because it wasn't so easy. So I bought 3. I thought, okay, I just want one. I was around somebody that had COVID. I just want to make sure. I've got to go do some shows. I don't want to expose the people. I want to be safe. I want to do my due diligence. So I got 3 just in case, because I'm not going to submit a receipt for 1 for $9.99. And 3, I'm willing to lose $30. But 4, now we're getting into, I didn't get 4. Now I've got 3 I don't use, and 4, even though I owe my neighbor 1. But so much math going on in my head. I decide on 3. Okay. Do you understand how hard it is for me to just make a basic decision like this? Meanwhile, I go out for breakfast here in LA, and it's $75. But I'm worried about my 3 COVID tests getting my $30 back, which is just a sense of justice for me. So I get home, and I go on the Blue Cross. That's my provider. And I go to submit the receipt. It said, get a refund for your COVID test. Well, I don't know what year Blue Cross is in. I'm in 2022. Clear my throat. Excuse me. I'm in 2022. They're in like 1986 over there on their rebate section. So I thought, this is what I'll have to do. I'll have to take a picture of the receipt, and I'll just upload it, and their bot or their computer will say 3 COVID tests, and how about you just offer the premium I pay every month? How about you just forego that amount? Wouldn't that just be simple? Nope. Look at this. I shot portions of this. I'll try and walk you through it. This is me. These are the boxes of COVID tests. I had to cut out the UPC code. Do you see what's happening? I have to send it in. Then on the receipt, I have to write home COVID test refund. Actual envelope. I haven't shipped an envelope in forever, so I had to find stamps. Yep, had to find stamps. 10 drawers to find these. And thank God I bought the forever stamps. For anything. So Blue Shield of California. I didn't write CA. That's
if
right.
I wrote CA, they might just,
They're always looking
turn
for a
down my
reason.
claim for my
That's
COVID
right.
test.
So at the top, I
And then
wrote
I've got
3 at
one of those
$9.99. Oh, it's very loud.
UPC codes.
So then I take the UPC codes.
Oh, they're over there.
Then now it becomes arts and crafts. Now I'm taping it.
Well, it's turning into arts and crafts
I just
now,
said that.
'cause I've got to tape this down.
So now I'm taping them to a piece
They
of
couldn't just send
paper.
me $30.
Just so frustrating. Look at this. I've got tape out. I've got pens out. I had to go to the website and download a form, and then I had to hand fill out the form. I had to print
And
it.
I have to fill out this form. I've got to fill out this form.
Hand fill
They won't
out.
Let me do it. I had to go online to get this form.
This is remarkable, isn't it?
And print it. They couldn't just let me submit the receipt online. So now this $30 is costing me time. It's costing them time. This is the most ridiculous system.
It's like I said on my special.
We've got the worst health care in America.
They're trying to weed out the weak. They're trying to weed out the weak. So now I put it in an envelope. The envelope is so old it doesn't seal. I've got to add tape to the envelope. Not even making this up. Okay, then I have to drive.
I cannot wait to see how long this takes.
Oh, I'll never see this money.
Process and return to me.
Oh, I'll never
They
see
could have
this
just
money.
given me a credit off of the premium I pay every month.
That's right. That's right. Now I found a stamp. This is out of sync now. I didn't edit this video. And here it's me actually putting it in a P.O. box. Do you think I'll ever see that money? Do you think I'll ever see that money? Unbelievable. Our healthcare system is so screwed. You've heard me talk about it on stage in my stand-up act. This is ridiculous. Have you experienced this? Let me know. What's wrong at ornyadams.com. That's the email. What's wrong at ornyadams.com. Jeez. You think I'll ever get the money back? I don't. I don't. That is for sure. Bum, bum, bum. COVID test refund. You're listening to episode 46, What's Wrong with Orny Adams. My name is Orny Adams. You can go to What's Wrong, teamwhat'swrong.com for everything. This audio is everywhere. The video, some of it's on YouTube. The newer video is on, of course, my Patreon. My Patreon. Tomorrow I leave for North Carolina. I'll be in Raleigh? Where am I going? Yeah, RDU. I'll be at the Improv Raleigh. Come see some shows if you hear this. I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be editing this video. It'll be up on Patreon this weekend. I love stand-up. I get sick when I have to fly. I'm so sick of flying. I really am. Just writing down what I'm going to end the show on. I just had a thought how to end this show. Not that I'm there yet, but I'm thinking of going to the gym after this too. Should I go to the gym? I went to the gym Monday. I did my legs, so I'm in such pain. Such pain. It takes me 3 days to get over leg day. But I feel like I have to go because I have to travel tomorrow. Maybe I'll go, maybe I won't go. Maybe I'll be so exhausted after this podcast, I won't want to go. I don't know. I hate traveling. It makes me sick that the days before I have to travel, I have to pack. I lug this merch bag to the venues, just sell these T-shirts and then the clothing. It's colder in North Carolina. God knows if these shows are going to be packed. It's so much to worry about. And the actual show themselves, I love. But, then there's media Friday morning. I land Thursday, Friday morning. I have to get up early. I have to do media for the shows. The shows themselves, I love. All this other stuff. Like I think about how much time I put into these TikTok videos or all these other videos or this podcast. That's the part of this business I don't love, for sure. But I'll be mixing it up this year because next month we start shooting a Teen Wolf movie, which will be streaming on Paramount Plus. Of course, the news tanked the stock today, down 21%. So I bought some. I've never owned Paramount, but I'm behind the company that's behind me. That is for sure. Got a new haircut. I'm shaving. I love when I shave. I love it. I love the look. If I don't shave, I look old. I look older. And I'll go like 5, 6 days without shaving. Like I'm doing the math. I'm like, okay, if I shave today, Wednesday, I have to shave for the podcast. And then I have to do TV on Friday for my shows in Raleigh. That's okay if I have a little bit of, in the old days, no way you'd go on TV with a, what we call a 5 o'clock shadow or a 2-day shadow. Now, everyone shaved every day. Like to see an unshaven man, we're talking face here, was unheard of when I was younger. Now it's the norm. So I'm doing the shaving math here. By the way, I hate shaving. I love the way I look, hate it. Love the way I look, hate it. Hate shaving, love the way I look. I can't believe in my lifetime the electric razor has not come along, has not progressed. How is the electric razor not developed at all? Like, if you look, I have like, in a closet, I've got 25 years of electric razors that I always think, okay, this is the model that's going to work. They all like cause bumps. They get stuck. It feels like shit. It doesn't get close. I've got, I should open the electric razor museum is what I should do. Have people over. Come on over and let's look at the lack of progression in electric razors. It's like the suction cup hasn't really gone far in my lifetime. Other things, music was fine. I thought music was fine when it was on albums. Then it goes to tape, and I thought, this is great too, because now it flips over, and you don't have to get up and flip it over. Then we went to CDs. Well, I would have stopped at CD. Music people, no. Let's reinvent. Well, let's come up with another form so we can just keep charging the people, right? I like a group like the Rolling Stones, I've bought their albums, their tapes, I've bought their CDs and their MP3s. These pieces of shit, these British people have taken me for the same song, charged me 4 times. Clever. The electric razor, I mean, I hate shaving. I use 1 or 2 kinds of washes. Then I use a pre-shave guard or oil. Then I put the shaving cream on. Now the day's over. Now I need a nap. What? You're telling me we have 3D printers? We can't come up with a better razor? It should be like a car wash. You know, but for the face, you know the ones you drive through? You put your face into a big vat and it just scrubs it. And it's, you know, if we have driverless cars, they can figure out where to shave, and then a hand shaves for you. I just want to stick my head in this thing and 5 minutes later look like this. That's all I want. That's what's wrong with razors, electric razors. They've gone nowhere in our lifetime. Nowhere. I just hit the microphone. Very unprofessional of me. I apologize about that. I really do. But I love doing stand-up comedy. I always think, getting back to North Carolina, I always think, I don't need stand-up comedy. I could get out. You know, do other things. Find ways to invest my money or invest in other projects or, you know, like the TikTok dream. By the way, I'm starting to make a few bucks on TikTok. I know I was making 12 cents before. Now I'm making a few bucks. It's not retirement money. I don't know where these TikTok stars come from, where they get all their money. But I'd love to find a way to stay at home. But I'm energized by stand-up comedy. I did 4 shows this past weekend. I was at the Laugh Factory. Then I go to the Improv and close the show. I did that Friday and Saturday. It's enough for me. You know, I try out new things, and I enjoy it. And I enjoy seeing people laugh in person. And what works, you know, an hour ago at the Laugh Factory doesn't work now. Like why my mind goes in different places, how like you're in the middle of a bit and then you get distracted and that takes you over here. I mean, it's live. It's cool. It's not anything you'll ever see on tape. Like a stand-up special will never reach the level of a live show, unfortunately. And yet your expectations are so high for it. But every time I think, yeah, I don't need stand-up. I don't. I think I do. Because the day of the show, I'm anxious. I'm going over my notes. And then right before the show, I'm fine. And then after the show, I'm on a high, which nothing can duplicate that high. I haven't done drugs in my life, but I'm sure there's no drug that can duplicate that high because that high is created by something I did. Whereas a drug is just created by, a high from a drug is created just from the high from that drug. The drug's creating that high. I'm creating this high when I do stand-up. It's a self-inflicted high. And it's addictive. And then the next day I'm all jazzed up. Can't sleep, all that sort of stuff. I don't know I don't know. It must be terrible for people that want to perform but can't. It must be heartbreaking. And I'm sure you adjust because in my head I'm like, yeah, I don't, you know, if I take some time off, I'm like, yeah, I don't need stand-up. Yeah, I don't need it. I'm fine without it. And then when I do it, I'm like, oh no, I did need stand-up. I do. So I don't know. It's a weird balance because I love it, but I hate the travel. I hate the business aspects of it. So, there's that balance. But stand-up energy gives me a boost. That's what the card says. That is what the card says. I was flipping around the other day. It was a Super Bowl Sunday. Again, this is a mishap caused by a remote control. And what happened was I ended up in between channels. Like I was like, what channel is the Super Bowl on? Because it could be CBS, NBC, it could be Fox. It's definitely not on the NFL network. And as I'm flipping up, I'm going from NBC to ABC, I think. And I somehow I end up on a channel, and they're running a documentary on violins, on a violin that was stolen. And I'm like, this is fascinating. It was a documentary called Who Stole Erica Marini's $3.5 million Stradivarius violin? Why do I love stories like this? I'm fascinated by virtuosos in any line of work. I don't care if you're a designer. I don't care if you make jewelry. I don't care if you're a painter. Anybody, I don't care if you paint houses. If you're passionate about something, if you talk about that something the way I talk about stand-up comedy, I love it. I love it. I love the fascination around the Stradivarius violin. I love the fact everybody in the world knows what a Stradivarius violin is. But most people don't even know how many strings there are on a violin. 4, right? I'm fascinated about the allure, about the mystique. There's about 650 of these violins that are still in existence. In fact, there's a book, and most of them, they cost millions of dollars. And there's a book called The Violin Iconography of Antonio Stradivari. And I thought, well, these violins are like $4 million. And it lays out every single violin that we know is in existence in pictures from all different angles. Like, it just looks gorgeous. It's like a piece of art, this hardcover book. And I thought, I'm going to buy that book. Because I think I'll just to thumb through and just see the little differences that Stradivari did from one violin to another. And where his mind was thinking. Like, I just want to get into the mind of Stradivari. So I go online to buy the book, $700. Turns out I can't even afford the book about the Stradivarius. Now, why are they called Stradivarius if it's made by Stradivari? Because that's the plural in Italian. Okay. So who stole this? Erica Marini, she was an Austrian Jewish woman. She was a virtuoso violinist back in like the 20s, back when it was a man's game, and she broke through, hugely respected, and she lived in New York City, and she kept her violin in a closet with a skeleton key. You know those skeleton keys? Well, that's not much security. And by the way, anytime somebody has a skeleton key, it's always just hidden like on top or to the closest vase. Look in the closest vase. That's where the skeleton key is. You know what a skeleton key is, right? If you don't, Google it. Google it. Anyway, so I'm watching this documentary, and they still have not found this violin, which irritates me because these violins are so special. It should be in the hands of a violinist. In fact, if anybody owns a Stradivarius and is just keeping it in a case or something, screw you. Yo-Yo Ma. These are people that play the Stradivari, us, as they should. So these should be passed on. And they all have interesting names. Like hers, Erica Marini's was the Marini Davidoff Stradivarius. I'm going to talk about another one in a minute. The Totenberg Stradivarius. So she lived alone in this apartment in New York City. I guess it was huge, like 6 bedrooms. That was back in the day when people lived like that. I guess people still do, and people begged her, put this thing in a vault. I would think it needed to be in like a climate controlled situation. People begged her, and she didn't do it. And she got sick in her 90s, had to go to the hospital, and while she was at the hospital, got stolen. And they still haven't figured out who stole it. Was it like a maintenance worker? Was it somebody that worked for her? Was it a caretaker? Was it these 2 women that came back to the apartment and called the police and said it was stolen? Who stole? Where's this violin that her father bought? Erica's father bought it for her for $10,000, like in the 20s, and now it's worth between $3 and $4 million. And it's not the money. It's not the money. It's the fact that this should be in the hands of a great player, of a great player. And they just go over what makes these instruments great. And I'm fascinated by it. I really am. And that book would be really kind of cool. And so they interviewed the FBI that was involved in the case and where it is, and they put up that card at the end if anybody has any information. Man, would I love to find that. I'd love to be the one that found the missing Stradivari. That'd be cool. So then I get into the whole of violins. I'm researching violins, and are there other stories about stolen violins? And of course, there's several that have been stolen. Another one, and I may talk about it on another podcast. Where's this person's name? I didn't print it out, but there was one of them was stolen, and the guy was just playing it like at a local cafe for years, and they ended up going to jail for some sort of sex crime. So I might discuss that one. I started reading that this morning. I go, okay, this is too much. I got to save some of my head for this podcast. You know, I like to research this stuff, but I don't. This doesn't have to be a lesson on violin theft. But I read another report about this other guy, this Roman Totenberg, and he had his violin for years, and he put it down after he played it, and somebody snatched it up, and he was pretty sure he knew who stole it. It was stolen from the Longy School of Music in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and he said it was his musical partner of 38 years, and he put the violin down for a second, and got snatched away, and he was pretty sure he knew who took it, and it turned out that was the person. But he never got it back in his lifetime. And his the daughter wrote this whole. Her name was Nina. Wrote this article. I'm quoting from NPR. It was crushing loss for my father, as he put it. He had lost his musical partner of 38 years, and when he would ultimately buy a Guarneri violin from the same period as the Stradivarius, he'd have to rework the fingering of his entire repertoire for the new instrument. My father would dream of opening his violin case and see the Strad there again, but he never laid eyes on it again. He died in 2012, but the Stradivarius lived on somewhere. Then, on the last day of June, I got a call from an FBI special agent, Christopher McCoe. Christopher McCoe said, we believe that the FBI has recovered your father's stolen violin. And what happened was, the person that stole his violin that he suspected, the police refused at the time to get a search warrant and look at his apartment. And this guy, Roman's wife, wanted to hire mobsters to break into the apartment and just look for it, which they should have done in retrospect, because this guy now moves to California, and he never amounted to much as a musician. And then at age 58, I believe it was, he died of cancer. Okay? He died of cancer a year before her father, Nina's father, Totenberg, died at the age of 101. And when this guy, let's say his name, Philip Johnson, he was a young aspiring violinist, Philip Johnson, he dies, and he leaves the violin and some stuff to his ex-wife. The ex-wife is there. She's looking over the possessions, finds a violin, opens it up, says Stradivarius. So she calls an appraiser, and he says, let me tell you something, miss, but I can't tell you how many times I get a call from people that say, yeah, I'm cleaning out someone's attic and I found a Stradivarius. He goes, this is every week, because there are knockoffs, there are fakes. Some of them are good, some of them not so good. So he said, send some pictures. Well, he was so impressed by the pictures, he said, fly to New York. So they flew from California to New York. This guy, and this is what's cool about this Stradivarius, they know precise measurements till a millimeter on every single one of these, okay? And there are markings. So they can't be knocked off completely, I don't think. So he's doing the measurements. He's spending about a half hour, and finally he says, listen, it's good news and bad news. The good news is this is a Stradivarius. The bad news is it was stolen 35 years ago, and we have to call the police. And so within 2 hours, the art crime fraud police from New York were there, and sure enough, it's been returned to the family. Of course, the guy, Totenberg, that died never saw it again, but, you know, it is returned, and I think it was sold to another violinist. So it's interesting. Here's the deal. Lock up your Stradivarius, people, because he just put it down, and it got stolen. Then I saw another report where a guy was actually tasered and mugged, and they stole his Stradivarius. And then the police found it like 2 days later because somebody bragged about it. These people committing crimes and bragging. So what's wrong with Stradivarius? Not much. Expensive. I'd love to really know what the difference is, because I'm pretty sure that from what I've read, that some of the newer violins sound better. But, again, it's the tradition. Isn't it beautiful? Tradition's beautiful. Although traditions change. Saw another report on 60 Minutes that sparkling wine is now being made in England. What? England? That's right. Because of climate change, the climate in England is now what it used to be like in France 50 years ago. So now the English, these sneaky English people, are making sparkling wine, which is up there with the French. And the French, some of these vineyards last year couldn't even produce wine because their crops got destroyed by volatile swings in temperature. They would have spring frost a couple of times, and then it would get hot. And these grapes didn't know what to do. Well, the French, the good news is they're taking care of it right now. The French are bioengineering new grapes that taste like the old grapes, look like the old grapes, have the same texture, the same color, and can withstand these climate changes. But climate change is real. And maybe it takes some of these fat cats losing their good wine to finally say, let's do something about it. Let's do something about it. Episode 46, What's Wrong with Orny Adams? Have a little sip of juice. Delicious. Bum, bum, bum. Well, here's something I think is going to change in our lifetime. Everybody is just ordering takeout food now. You go into a place, it's empty, and then you order takeout, and it takes forever. Why? Because they're just doing DoorDash orders and Uber Eats or whatever. Everybody's ordering takeout. Nobody's cooking their own food anymore. We become a nation of just takeout, and people are overpaying for food. I can't believe how much food costs. Where's everybody getting the money to pay for all this takeout food? It's shocking. It's shocking. But I'm at my wit's end. I really am. I'm sick of being gouged on food. So I went to this place. I was in Los Feliz, hipster Los Feliz. I shouldn't be there. And I ordered some takeout. I was with a friend. And we ordered a salad. Listen to what I ordered. A salad, a sandwich, okay? Like a vegan chickpea sandwich, and 2 drinks, a coffee, and then like a smoothie. Well, the coffee and smoothie came out pretty fast. Drinking it, sitting outside, waiting. After about 20 minutes, I go in there. Hey, is the food? Are we supposed to pick it up? Is it on the counter or something? Oh no. We'll bring it to you. 30 minutes, still no. 40 minutes, still no food brought to us. We go in, we're taking turns going in, and we're waiting for a salad and a sandwich. There's nothing elaborate. At 45 minutes, I go back in. I go, I've had enough. I just want to leave. And this was over $60. Over $60 for a salad, a sandwich, and it was and 2 drinks, 2 beverages. One was a smoothie, and there was tip in there, about a $10 tip for takeout. What are you supposed to tip on takeout? Like, I'm all for supporting the workers, but it used to leave 20%, but there was service. Like, somebody would come over, how you doing? How's your day? A little small chat, you know what I mean? Give some suggestion. But some guy takes my order 80 feet away from me. I'm yelling, vegan sandwich! And then Apple, I tap my card, I pay. Like, you used to tip 10% on takeaway. So, guys avoiding my eye contact. I see them like doing all these bags to go. And there were 2 people that came in after me, that were seated and they were already eating. So I said, those people, they came in after us. How come they ever, oh, you're 2 orders away. He wouldn't make eye contact. He goes, excuse me, sir, it's been 45 minutes. I said, yeah. You know, he says, oh, it's coming. I go, but these people came after us. That person came after us. They're all eating. I said, is there a problem with the order? And he, oh, no. And he was kind of rude. He was nice. It was nice when I was tipping him. So I said, you know what? Why don't we just cancel the order? Just cancel the order. I figured he was going to say, you know what? We'll make it anyway. We'll give it to you. Or here's some money to come back another time. Like, make it right. So he goes over to the... He's tapping on it really, really loud. All right, it's going back in your card. Okay, thanks. We go across the street, order food from another place. Got it within 5 minutes. Probably a better place anyway. 2 days later, I get a credit. It's only for $33 on my credit card. It's not the full amount. And I thought, this guy, I swear to God, this guy only took the food off. Okay, I understand. I'm fine. So he could have said that. He could have said, okay, I'll be happy to take the food off, but I'm still going to charge you for the drinks you got. He didn't say it. He made it sound like I was getting all of it back. I didn't get all of it back. Here's the worst part. He kept the tip. He kept the whole tip, the $10. I was tipping on food I never got. I got shitty. Fuck you, keeping the tip. You got to be kidding me. So now I call American Express and I go, listen, I never got this food. Kept the tip. How dirty is that? Like, you could have said, listen, I'm really sorry about this. Is there anything I can do? Can I give you some pastries or something? Or how about the next time you come in, I'll give you free drinks, or let me knock the drinks off. Like, I don't even mind that he charged me for the drinks. We got those drinks. That's fine, but we're waiting 45 minutes. Like, take the tip off or prorate the tip. Or he could have said, hey, listen, I'm taking the food off. What do you want to do about the tip? And I probably would have said, you know what, keep the tip, because you're working hard and I appreciate you working during COVID or whatever, wherever we are in this pandemic. But I'm so sick of people. I'm so sick of how many transactions go bad and nobody cares. That guy doesn't care. He just works here. If he owned the place, let me tell you something. They would have done something to make it right. For sure. For sure. I'm just really irritated in the amount of transactions I have in my life and the amount of people I see and the amount of transactions that go wrong and nobody cares. No, we are on a conveyor belt of nobody giving a shit in life anymore. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. It's like you just go around and just hope you get your order. You hope your medical's correct. You hope blah, 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 blah. We're all being mischarged, overcharged, and neglected. There's no love anymore. Nobody even cares. People walk right into each other. People on their phones. People are driving and texting. How there aren't more accidents with driving and texting is beyond me. How I see people on just full-on driving looking at their phones. How are they not hitting our other cars? What really shocks me is how were there no accidents before driving and texting, right? How did two people driving while driving ever collide? How did two people paying attention ever get into an accident? We're just in crappy times. We have inflation. People can't afford gas and basic necessities for their families. Nobody's working. Everyone's like, we can't get workers. There's a worker shortage, and that's what's going on. Somehow people have money, but nobody's working. There's a worker shortage. But yet you still see people emptying those porta potties and transporting them around. So if we can find people to empty porta potties, I think we can find people to make our cappuccinos. Right? This is where we are in the world. And there's so much instability. And then there's COVID, right? And we're so fatigued. We've had enough. Let us live our lives again. We just want to get back to normal. And on top of that, that's human. That's nature. That's a nature-made problem, which goes under earthquakes, goes under landslides, fires, unless they're started by an idiot. These are nature-made. What I don't understand is human-made. Why, on top of what's going on in the world, do humans make it worse? And I'm talking about political differences. I'm talking about people that do what's wrong in order to make more money. I'm talking about Russia. Now Russia is invading another country. How many times in my lifetime am I going to live through Russia invading another country or causing problems? I mean, when this started, they weren't even Russia. They were the Soviet Union. That's a country that's not even around anymore. That country went out of business. You call Russia You get a recording, goes, doo-doo-doo. The country you're trying to reach is no longer in service. Episode 46. I mean, what more can I say? It did rain yesterday. What's wrong with Orny Adams? Episode 46, my name's Orny Adams. What's wrong with my mom getting a new iPhone? What's wrong with trying to get refunds on your COVID test? What's wrong with takeout and not getting your takeout? What's wrong with rugby?
What's his name, Kev?
Orny Adams. Whoa, I don't understand rugby, but I'm your latest commentary. People, stop stealing Stradivarius violins. Thank you, Ernesto Hurtado, for polishing, processing, and getting this audio up. If you want to keep in contact, what's wrong at ornyadams.com is the email. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Orny Adams, Facebook /OrnyFans. You can go to patreon.com/Orny and get this episode in a couple of days. Older episodes, about 10 before this, like we're in the 30s now, like 33, 34. They're up on YouTube. And you're looking at TikTok's latest multi-dollionaire. That's right. Now I got to get upstairs and I got to condition. Because I brought this. I didn't want to waste, so I brought this conditioner from the hotel. So I'm going to go condition. I am out of this. I'm out of shampoo. Why? Because the shampoo's a third the size of conditioner. So COVID. Listen to the bird. God. So glad I don't have to shave for like 4 days now. Might even make it all the way through my shows in Raleigh.